And we are going. What's going on with everybody? It is your boy, Eric, aka Young God, coming to you live in the Green Dungeon, giving it to you real raw rugged. And I got three very special guests on the other line. I don't know how they're gonna do it, but I'll let all of them introduce themselves, man. Who do we have here?
I'm Jay Vito, 1/3 of the Tones.
I can go next because I'm right beside him. I'm Tony Lilo, another third of the Tones.
And I'm Tui, bringing it on home for the
Hey, man,
last third of the three.
for
Yes, sir.
sure, man. How y'all doing today, man?
Great.
Good.
Another.
Good, bro.
So I said this a couple minutes ago, before everybody joined, is that I was excited for this interview, and I have like I don't know, like 400 interviews over total, like in my life done. And I don't know, you know how like just certain stuff like you used to be excited for, you're not that excited for anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe when you first started it, like I'd imagine like a nigga like LeBron. I don't know, maybe he's not excited to play basketball as he was when he first entered his career. Because he did it so many times, doing it for 20 years. But I'm excited for this one because y'all music coincide with a question that I have been throwing out there. And before we even get too deep into this interview, I'm gonna throw this question out here, and it'll probably come back up multiple times. But I've been listening to a lot of music, and I've been asking people this question. I've been like, bro, you ever like wondered, like you got like Frankie Beverly and Maze, like that song is like 50, 40 plus years old. Or the cookout, you know, she make me happy. Like everybody knows that song, or Al Green, whatever. These songs are 40 plus 50 plus years old songs, and they still get played today.
Absolutely.
I say, what is the songs that we have today that are going to be played 40, 50 years from now? And the question, that's not even the real question. The question comes after this. I don't really know the answer to that. So my question is, why were they like, why how does that music last? And I say, you know what it is? They ain't jamming in the music no more, man. Niggas ain't jamming no more, man. And that's my real question. Why they not jamming in the music no more? So I'm gonna start the interview off like that. I don't know who want to take the question,
I
but
want to take that one. I want to take that one because we have a conversation about this a lot. Um, the attention span of most listeners is very short. Um, some artists now have figured out. I call it a science. Like it's just a simple way that they put their words, and it makes the words rememberable to people. And if the words are rememberable, they ain't got to remember a whole lot. They remember those songs. Versus back then, Marvin, Al, James, well, Marvin and Al, I'm gonna just do that. Marvin and Al, they wrote about like feelings, like they felt a certain type of way, and you could tell what they were feeling when they played the music. Versus now, you know, you find something that's catchy, put it down, it's a hit song. That's how it's been happening. So I mean, I don't take nothing against anybody that's doing that. But it's definitely a difference with the writing material from back then versus today. Like I think.
I quickly want to comment on that because although I do think this person has songs with like lyrics that meant stuff, but I don't know if when you said James, I don't know if you're talking about James Brown, but James
Yeah.
Brown damn near make TikTok music sometimes because he'll say about 10 words and it's like he just say
Yeah.
random ass word table.
But it felt good though. It was
It felt
groovy.
good. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, you're right. And I've just been pondering that question, and I'm like, even like I would say, like in the 2000s, I feel like people were still jamming. You know what I'm saying? Like one song that comes to my head, I don't know why I've been playing this song a lot, but you remember that Jamie Foxx song, the unforgettable song, that
Unforgettable,
yeah,
unpredictable.
unpredictable. Yes, like that song. I'm like, damn, they was jamming on that song. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it comes back to y'all because when I listen to y'all, I'm like, damn, these three brothers jamming. You know what I'm saying? When y'all get on a song and girl, when I spend the time with you, this I don't let them steal your heart. Like that's a jam right there. You know what I'm saying? So just want to thank y'all before we get too deep into this, where keeping that feeling alive.
Thank you, man.
We don't like it.
Did,
Is
did
that something?
your mic, Tui?
Is that something that y'all is that like a conscious thing, or is that just how y'all were raised and that's how like the music comes out?
I think that we are. I just feel like when you come from music, Especially when you come from it the way that we come from it, where it's like a strong essence of church involvement, right? Then everybody that is most people that are a part of church, especially from a musician perspective, kind of detail a little bit more into the authenticity of the music, how it should feel, how it should sound, and the whole thing music, not so much that it's a hit, you know. I think, I don't want to quote Erica, but Erica said something that I'm gonna put in my own words of how I perceived it. And she was like, there's three types of artists. You have the artist, and this is not what she said, but this is what I got from it. You have the artist that is really an artist, whom I deem we are, that we care more about the music than making a whole bunch of money in sales. Don't get it twisted now. We three men, we got kids, we got life, so we got to do what we got to do. But then there's still that like true authenticity of us wanting to discover our sound. So we care about the music. Then you have those artists that are going to be willing to do whatever it takes for them to make the bread. That's when we fall into the perspective of what you were talking about at the beginning, where it's like, I'm going to do what Vito was talking about, the catchy words, the beat maker that's popping right now and the sound that's on the radio. We're going to choose that beat. It's almost strategic, like Shalimar. You remember how they put that group together to curate a sound? It was strategic to make a sound for a moment, but it wasn't like Earth, Wind, and Fire, where it's like these guys just love to play music, and the music that they made, they loved it, right? Then you got the third ones that are like, to me, more of the ones that just, I'm willing to do anything.
Yeah.
I just want to be famous. I just want to be, I don't care. I just want to be famous. I don't even care about the money so much. I just want to be famous. So I think we fall in that number one. And what you're feeling, which I want to say, I appreciate you being honest and keeping it real. What you're feeling is what we try to provide. And that's just, you know, going back to Don't Let Them Steal Your Heart. That's what Tui felt in that beat, right? But then when he brought that beat, that wasn't what it was. So then we all got together and curated that particular flow of the beat. And then we came on top and did what we felt vocally. It wasn't about what was going on the radio. It wasn't about what was happening. It was about what we felt in that moment from what Tui brought us. Then I came and added a little guitar. Then Vito came and added that swag on the hook. And then like, there it is. Don't let them steal your heart. And that's what you're feeling. So without being too long-winded, I just wanted to make sure that I like thoroughly made sure that that question was answered. And that's just, we want to make sure that, you know, we are trying to make good music. Now, if it's long lasting, great. But if it's not, you know, we can't control that. But what we can control is what we put out to the world. And we try to make sure that we spend enough time for it to do what it's done for you, my brother.
No, I think that's a great answer. And I like the Shalimar versus Earth, Wind, and Fire thing you did, because I interviewed Cool from Cool in the Game like last year. And I don't know, have y'all ever heard like their early music, like their like first albums?
No, I haven't heard a lot.
So they were a jazz band. They weren't making Boogie Nights and Ladies Night. Like that wasn't the type of, like, they were making jazz music. Like, for example, do you know D'Angelo's Send It On? To Send It On.
Yes, sir.
That's actually, that's like a sample from Earth, Wind, and Fire jazz, like their first jazz album. And it's, I don't think a lot of people knew that. I only know it because I had to do research on them, and I was like, damn, this sounds familiar. I was like, let's Send It On. So I think once they realized, like, I don't know if niggas want to hear jazz anymore. Like, shit, we need to goddamn make music for niggas who do cocaine, and that's when they started doing Ladies Night and shit like that. So
yeah.
I think it's an interesting thing, because it's like they're great musicians, but a lot of people think of them just like for their hits. So it's like, it's that battle between like artists.
It's the battle between music and business.
Exactly.
Like, it's the battle between, I want to make music that makes me feel good, and a select amount of people will dig it, like you, who I'm going to say, from my 5-10 minutes we've been here, you seem like a very eclectic individual. You know, you really are locked into the music, right? But then you got the business, where you got these kids who go to school every day and they don't care about a flat five, they don't care about a jazz lick. All they want to do is say, you know, they just want to be happy and stuff. So then you got to make music that caters to them. So it's that sweet science of that is what I want to do, but then it also be able to be effective in a large amount of people, so I can still pay my bills.
That's a fact. And I feel like we may get to a point where that's a little bit more accessible. Like I look at somebody like Anderson Paak, who is making music where he's jamming, nigga playing
Yeah,
the drums, he
yeah,
doing everything.
I
So
like it a lot.
so yeah, I'm glad to see stuff like that. And like even with y'all, like I don't know about anybody else timeline, but like most I would say like how many months are we like 5 months in? Like I would say for at least like 3 of those months, I've seen like 3 videos of y'all go viral on my timeline. So that showed me like it's people that want to see it. Like of course I seen the somebody roll the weed. I done seen that so many times recently. I figured I seen something else, but that just showed me like, damn, it's a little hope for this type of music. And listening to the album, the last album y'all put out, it's just like, man, like they got something because that's this type of music I could hear on the radio and being good business wise, but also it's like you remain your integrity is intact. You know what I'm saying? It's like you actually feel proud about what you put out. Like, do y'all feel proud about what y'all are putting out?
Yes, I would like to say. I would think yes. In my personal opinion, yes. I'm always proud of anything that we put out, be it this way, that way, or the other. Just being able to get it out there to connect with the people even the more is always always is a proud moment for me. So yeah, in short,
So
yeah.
so going to a song like which I feel like you had to be proud of, something like "Don't Let Him," and you were talking about like the beat, like how did that song come about? Because I seen a video of Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg was damn near, boy. I thought he was gonna start pop locking when the song came on. The way he would jam into it. So how did like that song specifically come about?
Um,
Our manager, well, one of the guys that was, well, he was our manager at the time. I think he knew some of his people. And Snoop reached out to us about, I think it was beforehand. I think he had reached out to us and was like, "Hey, yo, nephew, I I need y'all to do a favor for me." We was like, "What's that?" And he was like, "I'm doing an album called I Want to Thank Me." And he was telling us about, when he got his Hollywood Hollywood Walk of Fame or whatnot, and he had a I Want to Thank Me speech, and he was like, "I kind of want something that feels like when y'all did put some respect on it." So we was like, "Okay, all right, cool." Got off the phone with him, and I think he was working on his gospel album at the same time. We just started submitting a whole bunch of stuff to him, and one of the I Want to Thank Me's made his album that he did, and then I might be wrong on this. I'm assuming because we did that, he gave us a verse on "Don't Let Him Steal Your Heart," which was um, the relationship started from our management reaching out to his team. I might be wrong on that one, but I think that's
yeah,
right.
I think we have recorded it first
Oh, okay, okay,
because
okay,
because we met him in the Stellars.
okay.
So we
Oh
reached.
yeah, that too, that too. See,
He got on it, and then when he dropped his album, he's like, normally I would do it this way, but because y'all came back and did my joint, don't even worry about it. Bam. So it was a fair exchange.
yeah, it was definitely a fair
Fair
exchange, and he,
exchange.
he definitely called
All
too.
love. It
So
was.
that wasn't fabricated for you people out
Oh
there.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
Absolutely.
really got a phone call from Snoop Dogg. I want you to know that.
Tell him the beat making process too, so he can understand that.
Uh,
Yeah, Tui, go ahead.
I legit just make beats, man, and I was making it, and I think we were getting ready to go out of town, and Lilo was in the other room, and he heard it, and then he gave his a few ideas and whatnot, and then we went to the studio, and yeah, we laid it. I want to say he came up with like the hook, the way the swing of the hook, the feel of the hook at my house, and then we went to the studio and let our powers combine, and man.
So I
Yeah, my bad, bro.
no, you're
And
good,
I
bro.
just, but that even in that, like we all play our roles in the creation of stuff. So like Tui will lay down the beat, and a lot of times, because we get this question a lot, but I don't feel like we really dig. So there's an understanding on how we work. Tui will make a beat, and it may be just like a foundation, right? And it's what he felt at that moment. I love it. Most times, everything that he makes, I love it. But then there are those times where me and Vito might be like, "Dang, but it need a bridge, or it need like it need to do something, it need to move. So bro would just be like, well, I made the beat, so y'all, what y'all thinking type thing. So then we'll come in and, you know, it might be going this way, then we'll move that part here. You know what I'm saying? Then we'll move this part here, and then Vito will get to, okay, that's the swag we're gonna go with. Then we help each other write the verses. You know what I'm saying? To that swag that we trying to say, and then there goes "Don't Let Them Steal Your Heart," and then Snoop getting on it and us getting the phone call. But literally, that's pretty much how all of our music goes. Like, you know, somebody will start the process, and then, like we've said in other spaces, whoever got the juice that day, we just follow each other's lead and try to make the best product we can.
I think you used the words eclectic earlier, and I feel like some of like the great producers can be very eclectic, and like
Yeah.
I've seen like producers get inspired by like the most random stuff. Like they might like hear somebody smack on a table the wrong way, be like, "Damn, I want," you know what I'm saying? So like for Tui, like, do you ever get inspired by things that are like non-music related, like to make a beat?
Yep. Sometimes a conversation, the right words. I might see a commercial, or I don't know. It just comes and goes. Sometimes I'm on, sometimes I'm not. You know, it's really hard to explain. Honestly, it just something. It just hits me like, hey, an idea just come up in my mind. Sometimes it's I don't know, just driving and it just pops up. So yeah,
It's
I'm ex-
it's
I'm inspired by everything.
it's it's interesting because like I don't make beats, but like even for me, like I would like like a sample will pop up in my head that's not even like a real song. And I'd be like, damn, that'd be hard to like make that into like a, you know what I'm saying? Like, have you ever flipped? Because one of my favorite albums of, I think it was last year, maybe 2021. I don't know if you've heard Lady Ray album, but like I thought the album was really interesting because the way that her producer worked with her, it's an R&B album, but it almost was like a hip hop approach, and they sampled her voice throughout that album. Have you ever like took a present, like had somebody in the booth and like looped their voice, sampled their voice for a beat, instead of like actually using like a sample, like an older song?
Um,
I have.
I'm about to say I'm kind of getting more into that.
Yeah, I have. It's different for different people. Like I might go to YouTube and find acapellas or something I've been looking for specifically. But now there's apps where you can take, if you just have the song, or if you buy the song, you have to buy the song. If you own the song in your library, you can take the audio, the music portion of it, turn the music portion of it down, solo out the vocals, send that to yourself as an MP3 and import it into your WAV files and then tweak it the way you want to. It's different tricks for different people. So I can't, my way might not be Tui's way or Lilo's way. So I mean, it's different ways to get out there and get it. And then I've seen some people, I don't know how. I've seen, I think it was, I was looking at a Jay Dilla thing on TV, and it was showing how he had a record player and he played the song with vocals on it somehow. And off of that he stripped off of that vinyl, he was able to mess with the frequencies where it was nothing but the vocals. So, people do it different ways. I would love to learn how to do that. Like, but I don't know how to do it. Tui might know how to do it. I don't know how to do it, but it's different ways for different people. But yeah, that's always a fun part, is sampling vocals. Kanye is a genius with that. But what I've learned about Kanye, and not to be long-winded, you might think it's a sample, but it's not a sample. He'll have somebody playing in the studio in that way, and then he'll sit somebody like a Betty Wright in the studio with a microphone, and she's in there going, and you're trying to sound hound or go and type the words of the song and try to figure out what song did he sample to get that, and it's not a sample. So it's different ways for different people, man. And I'm just blessed to be in the know of how to do something in that. But sampling is the way, man. It's remarkable. I love it. Whoever came up with that idea, kudos to you.
No, that's a talent.
Well, I like more of I'm the older guy, but not the older guy. I like the Earth, Wind, and Fire stuff where it's like cats playing the instrument. You know what I mean? I don't care so much about having to go in. And that's no disrespect. I want to make sure that's understood because I know sometimes I'm line with who do like the beats. You know what I'm saying? That's no disrespect. I want to make sure it's understood. But for me, I like that more. I don't even want to say authentic. I just like a real guy playing the guitar, a real guy playing the keys, a real guy playing the drums, and then stuff like that.
Hey, well, I do want to recommend that Cool and the Gang like first couple albums because it's very reminiscent to stuff like that, and it's very interesting to hear like what their music is like known for now compared to like what they were doing because it was very musical, I guess to say in like layman's terms. But
check that.
Not for sure. But yeah, I think one of y'all, I'm trying to figure out who it was, brought up like church and like I think that's why y'all music sounds like that. Well, no, before I ever bring it up, we're talking about recording. I guess I can stay on this. A song that y'all recorded where I'm like, damn, this really sounds like a song from like the 60s. Like, before I even say that, what do you think I'm talking about? Like, just the way it sounds like it was recorded.
Message to America.
That's a good one, but no, that's not the one I'm thinking about. Silent Night.
That's way back.
Yes, the way that was recorded was definitely like it sounded like it was recorded like analog or something. Like it was very it was done very well.
That's what's up, because that particular song we battled with. When you're in a new day and age, sometimes you battle with who you are. That's the best way to say it. We had so many people like, y'all gonna put that on there? And then we had some other people was like, that's fire. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, I'm really happy about hearing that. All the way down to the tone of my guitar. That bass guitar is not a bass guitar. That's the lead guitar, like octaved or something. I believe. Is that right too? Or am I lying? I think that because I didn't have a bass.
No, you just play the you played the low end on it.
On the guitar. And I played the low guitar. I played the guitar and then I tuned it down.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, that's what I did. So that's my bad. So yeah, that's just hand claps and us getting in the mic and just singing. You know what I mean? So it's cool that you say it sounds like analog because it's 100% digital. But that goes back to what I was saying, like when you come up in church and you come up around musicians, that authenticity of really trying to, just like, like I said, like even I wish I had my guitar, like the pickup of the guitar, they didn't play the pickup up. You know what I mean? They played it down where it was more ching-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. You know what I'm saying? Like that is the presence of what we were trying to create in that space, in that moment, in that time. And you just don't get a lot of that anymore in music, man. It's just so digital and just so boom, bops, boom, bops. You know what I mean? It just ain't got that thing like it used to have. But I enjoy some of it. But anyway, yeah. So going back to that, it makes me feel good that you say it really sounds analog because it's digital as shit.
That's interesting because like listening to that, you said like Beatles people that didn't think you should put on the album. That's crazy because there's people who make music that like sounds like it's supposed to be like from the 70s or 60s, but it feels like cosplay. It feels like it's not really them. It feels like they're trying to like, they're just putting something on. It doesn't really feel like, I guess, like what did niggas say, like it don't feel like it's in them. It's just like it's on me, it's in me, not on me type of thing or whatever. Exactly. And listening to Silent Night, like I'm like, bro, there's some shit that'll uplift a slave plantation, but this shit here, boy, nigga, I take a break, boy. Nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like that's type of shit,
all of the positive spirits.
Exactly.
All of the that paved the way for us to be able to do what we're doing now. That's our way of saying thank you to. So everybody that had to take something that you want to take and came over here and you didn't want to come, thank you. Silent Night in that whole moment is to say thank you to all our folk that had to go through all the way from everything we went through a couple of years ago for the reason we made 1964 to 1790 something when the white folk brought us over here and we didn't want to come. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like for real, we want to uplift everybody. That's positive. You see, whole bunch of negativity around here now. Fuck negativity. We want to get everybody that's positive, and I say that as respectful as I can, brother. So yeah, that's funny though, man. Yeah, we want all
for sure. Now, and I appreciate the preacher. I just watched the Tupac documentary on Hulu, and it focused a lot about like his mom and Black Panthers and how he was like in the new Black Panthers. And you getting a preacher, boy. You got me down. You feel me? Got up on a Black Panther beret myself, man. And I feel like that's like the type of energy that like isn't. Because like I said, a lot of people do like not the authentic version of themselves, but I could feel the real authentic like y'all feel like type of people that somebody come around y'all be like, damn, y'all old souls. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that y'all grew up with, and I feel like that probably has a lot of growing up in the church. And question, do you think that a lot of the music not feeling is like soulful, is that stemming is like a reason, does that stem from like, I guess, like a lack of like people growing up in church and learning from the church?
I me personally, I think it really deals with just the time that we're in, because uh music is just so available. Like, all music is just so readily available, to where back in the day, where me growing up in church, I had to go out and purchase, purchase music and bring it home, and then I had to run the risk where my mom might see this, she gonna see this CD or CD, so it kind of limited what I would bring in. Or you have to listen to the radio, and most of the time, as a kid growing up, you didn't have a car, so you had to listen to whatever's on the radio, but nowadays you got iPads and phones and everything that makes music so accessible, to where even if you may be a church kid, you still can go home and look at YouTube and put your headphones on, or iPad, phone, Instagram. It's just so many outlets to hear other types of music. I don't think that it's really a lack of church. I just think it's just the availableness, if I could say that, of so many other things, so many other options of music, to where you're not just stuck with one thing, because you can't readily, you know, get to the next. So I think just in this day and age, because things are so easy to
Easy.
get to, that changes the landscape. That changes the landscape. I always say that technology is like the gift and the curse.
Mm.
You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? So, yeah.
I think it's a societal change as well. Like I think it's even bigger than church, because if you go back like 100 years from now, like black music isn't the same that it was 50 years from
Mhm.
ago or whatever. Like I think about like Bobby Womack, like If You Think You're Lonely Now,
Mhm.
like that song. I think it was like 27 years old. What 27-year-old niggas making If You Think You're Lonely Now today? You know what I'm saying? Like it's a societal change. Like nobody in their 20s is making that song. You know what I'm saying? Like that sound like a song a 40, 50-year-old nigga would make. So I
But
think
you
Yeah.
know why? You know why? Because in that time, they came up differently. Technology was different. Cats at that age was working real jobs, real, like they was, and it was, the grind was just totally different, because things weren't as easily able to grab. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these kids are growing up without TVs and technology, so they're sitting around all these old people and old things happening, or learn how to play my guitar from my uncle Bobby,
Yeah.
who's a wino. You know what I'm saying? Whereas kids these days, like I said, it's just so many other avenues. Like you have Logics and Pro Tools
Yeah.
that make things so much easier. And now I don't have to just listen to Uncle Bobby in the other room. I can, you know what I'm saying, go over
Yeah.
here. I don't have to really work like that, because there's just so many other things. So time and technology and society, because society, I think technology affects society as well. So all of it kind of plays its part in the continual change of music.
I want to add, if I could, like, it's very easy, like he said, to record music. So the inspiration is different too. Um, I was somewhere the other day, recording some music for one of my homeboys, and these guys were just amazed at the fact that I had a laptop, an interface, and a microphone, some headphones. And I think I had my speakers there that day, and to them, they were like, I've always, now kids can, they got like studio apps in their phone where they can record straight into their phone and it sounds clean. They cancel all the background noise. It sounds like they're in the studio. And when you go to, like you said, Bobby Womack, the discipline was different then when it came to writing songs. when they were in the studio, they were with the who's of writing. Versus now, a little nigga can go in his room and his mama told go clean up, and he don't feel like cleaning up, and he in there pissed off. And then next thing you know,
Oh
because
God,
he's venting because he mad, so he's going to his room, get on his laptop, and he's recording a song about shooting people.
Yeah.
And it happens that easily. And those are the songs, unfortunately, for the real
yeah.
musical ones out there. No disrespect to people that's out there, get it how you get it. But that's how today's ways got ushered into the day, because it's easy for a nigga to just record at home, and those songs, oh, this hit hard. You go to I'm trying to think of who's you go to a Zaytoven, because he can hear a clip playing in the club, he gonna hear it and be like, oh, that go hard. So they produce further material for these people, and then they come on. So that's why all of these new artists are coming out that you never heard of, or and it's like, dang, how this come out of nowhere? Like, it's easy. Like, people ain't going to the studio no more. They're really not.
I didn't even think about that, but like you just brought up Zaytoven. I would love to hear something with y'all and Zaytoven, because Zaytoven is somebody with
He
a
the
very
homie. He the homie. Like, I think he like one of our viral videos he showed us some love to a while back, and it was like, yo, like, I really like y'all. But since then, Zaytoven has done tremendous things. I would love to do some stuff. The fact that Zaytoven plays at church every Sunday still to
That's
this
what I was
day.
gonna say. Exactly.
To this day, that man is out making beats with him, but every Sunday morning he getting that thing from Pastor Neil, waiting around at the church after church with his hands in his pocket, like, hey, you got your check yet? I'm waiting. You know what I'm saying? That's what he, that's what he do. And because I think he get it, he's like in the South, he know what kind of, I think he would probably him and probably help with some other people, but I think he could probably give us what we need. Shout out to Zaytoven.
No, for sure. Shout out to Zaytoven for sure. But yeah, I think y'all hit the nail on the head about like why somebody like Bobby Womack could make that song, or like Al Green, because like all these people that we talk about from that era, like they were like in their 20s. You know what I'm saying? Making some of that music. Like Otis Redding died at like 25.
And he looked like somebody granddaddy, didn't he?
Otis Redding looked like he's supposed to be preaching at somebody's church, and he'd been doing.
I didn't know he was that young. I really didn't. And he
That's
looked like he was in his 40s.
But a lot of them guys back then that passed away always look older.
Well, that's because they ain't had no lineups. That's why. That's why, because
and the lack of technology and society, things were just different. Jimi Hendrix was like 23. The dude, the just did a movie about him. The black dude.
Oh, you're talking about Fred Hampton.
Fred Hampton.
I was gonna say Hampton.
Fred Hampton, 21 years old, and it's like even somebody like that. It's like just the way his prowess to lead. Like what 21-year-old is leading? Because you got to think about it, he definitely leading grown men, like men twice his age at 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like what 21-year-old has the prowess and just intelligence to lead a group of humans like that? That's
without a PlayStation.
Hey, you're right. It's the technology. It's the change of technology in society. So I agree. And I think that's why it's interesting that y'all could sound the way y'all sound, even though y'all aren't 21 years old, but still you're still growing up in this society with all of this technology, and you're still able to be who y'all are. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all haven't lost yourselves trying to chase something that you're not, which I feel like it's probably very tempting to do sometimes.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, man. This last album to me was a little bit away from who we really are. So it's cool to be able to hear your perspective. But yeah, definitely can get out there, and we are battling with that now. I wouldn't say that we have lost ourselves, but what I will say is like I said, it's that sweet science of doing what you really want to do in business. And guys are owners of companies and things like that, and you got to make sure that that company is getting what they need in order to be able to continue. Because if ain't no money coming in, nothing's going to last. It just is what it is. So that is definitely a hard process for a lot of artists. Hence the reason why you see a lot of artists who may come in a certain way and then they die off, and all of a sudden they coming back and some crazy ass shit, doing crazy ass stuff to get to a different sector. Most of that is because they've either lost their way or they want to maintain in that space because that's what they love to do, and that's what they know. And so yeah, we're going to continue to try to keep our sound. We're going to continue to try to keep our swag. We're going to continue to try to keep what I feel like God has put us down here to do. But it damn sure is a process, man, because it's still a business.
Can I suggest one more album that I want y'all to listen to, because I feel like this is somebody who like really encapsulated that, like making something that you can listen to today, but it's like, damn, she cooking. And it is the Lady Ray. I don't know if you know who that is or not, but
I heard you. I'm gonna check her out.
I'm gonna type it so you can see it. Let me see.
Lady. Oh, okay, you're gonna type it. Okay.
Sure.
Hold on, where is it at? Lady Ray, Piece of Meat, and his Ray is spelled W-R-A-Y. And damn, she went by her real name like 20 years ago. She's been out for like a minute, and I forget her real name, but I know it's something Ray. But either way, that album, like I said, is from like a hip hop standpoint, because it's like the way the production is, but she is singing so beautifully. And whenever y'all get a chance, I think that that's something that just, it inspired me. And I don't even make music, but it was just like, damn, inspired to listen to. So just something to throw out there, man.
On it.
For sure.
R-A-Y or R-A-E?
W-R-A-Y. Piece of
Okay. That
Lady Ray. So yeah, that Through It All. Oh my gosh. Listen, that's the one. That Through It All is down there about shed a tear. Listen to that one. So yeah, that's the one right there. But
oh, that's Nicole Ray.
Nicole Ray. Yes.
Oh,
That
Nicole
is.
Ray. Okay.
So yeah, she's rebranded as Lady Ray now. And yes, that she brought an album last year that is been on repeat for me. So I would definitely suggest that one for sure. Is there anything that is music wise coming out now that is inspiring y'all?
I'm a huge fan of Kevin Ross. I'm a huge fan of Lucky Day. These are artists I feel that are soulful in their own right. They're writing about the right things. Their music is feeling the way it's supposed to. And you're now seeing them in the right places, in the right situations. There's a lot of, I'll be one of his name, Blessed, whatever his name. Blast, yeah, like he's another one of my new favorites. Like these guys are really, they have the ability to sing, and they can do it in either world. They can do it over there on the rap side, what they call it hip hop. They can do it over there on the hip hop side, and they can do it over here on the R&B side. And then they're trendsetters in their own way. They got that music that kind of scratches the line of soulful, but it's R&B. So those are, I know 3 people that I listen to on a regular that I feel like it's kind of like they get it. Like ain't too, I'm not trying to seem cocky, but the tones are the tones.
Yeah.
And we sound like who we sound like, and we soulful, we some soulful Negroes, and it's not too many people that you could kind of feel comfortable having that conversation and saying your name and them in the same breath like that. I mean, we're not better than anybody, but we know what we stand for and what we try to do out here for the people. And those artists are the ones in particular that I feel are doing the same. Like we could ride on the same boat together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so. For sure. Any of y'all got some?
Yeah, I don't really have the closest that I would say is maybe Anderson. But the reason for me for Anderson is because he's still possessing that live sound. Like you could tell, like with that LA live sound, it's still there. And I like the fact that Anderson is like, even his choices of features, like he went back and got
Smokey Robinson,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, come on. You know what I mean? PJ, I like PJ. Let me take that back. I like PJ a lot because PJ has curated his own sound and has done it in a way to where it's got that live vibe. You know what I mean? But I don't even want to sound like that guy or whatever, but it's nothing out here. Like, I don't listen to hardly nothing because nothing that really gets me like, yo, that's a that man. It's nothing like in the last. There's been no artist in the last probably 10 years of my life that I've gotten to that hit me like Bobby. It's so crazy what you said, Bobby Womack. That hit me like Bobby. That hit me like Al. You know what I mean? That's if I'm a listener to something, I'm going that hit me like Lil Beaver. Most cats don't even Vito put me on him. You know what I'm saying? That hit me like that. It's certain grooves them dudes had back in. Get into the party line. And up down, do got them. And their voices wasn't so just mechanical. If he messed around and said, "Oh," that was on the record.
Yeah.
That's what he felt at that moment. You know what I'm saying? Like it was real. That's going back to that authenticity thing. It ain't wait. Don't wait. Hold on. Let's tune that ew and make it ew or something. You know what I mean? It's just ew, get into the party line. And guess what? Most of your hip hop cats or rap cats is going back getting that music. So I mean, I don't know. It's nothing that I feel like sometimes I'm just like so alone in this world musically because I don't have anything to be able to cling to now besides, like I said, Anderson.
Hey, can I make y'all a playlist, man? I don't mean to cut. Because like, it's shit you have to look for, and that's like what I do all day.
That's the problem with me. It's tough for me to go searching for things.
It's tough.
I like and what I know. So yeah, dog. I would humbly love to have some stuff that I listen to because I try to listen to the new stuff, but then it's like playing for me like soccer. Like if you're not into it, you're just not into it. So after a while, it's like, man, I'm about to listen to some Lil Beaver. You know what I mean? So if you have a playlist that could accommodate me, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, PJ Anderson right now, and I'm trying to think of anybody, but those two right there, to me, are still kind of holding on to that soul thing or whatever the case. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, that's what it will be for me anyway.
See, it's people doing some interesting stuff. Like it's a lady named Kia, and she sound like if in 1993 RZA like produced the R&B album, if that make any, and that's interesting to me because it's like what, but she's so soulful, but she's singing over these like gritty type of like beats, but it sound like it's coming straight from the soul.
See, that's the thing. Like I grow up rap pop, so I don't click with that. You know what I'm saying?
I got that too, though. I got that too.
I want to hear this. I want to hear the snare. I want to hear some horns. I want to hear a guitar. That's like D'Angelo. Well, the Vanguard. Okay, that'll be the closest thing to today. When that Vanguard album came out, yo, I was like, yo, because I could hear two guitars. That guy's playing rhythm. That guy's playing lead. You know, Pino's locking in the drum. Like I could hear everything, and it's not just like produced. Like it's like really they went in the studio and they did it, man. So yeah, anything that's like that where I'm getting instruments and it's panned and I can have that experience where I'm like, yo, I'm at a live show, bro, send me that. John Mayer's still around.
Raphael Sadiq album from a couple years ago.
Raphael, totally forgot about Raphael. Yep. Let me say this too. There's a group of young ladies that is cold too, the Shindellas. Let me take that back. Forgot about the Shindellas. They still are kind of holding on to that. We was just with them at the Black Music Honors, and even their movements, like the way they doing stuff, they got that like that Diana Ross and them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just looking for some of that sometime. Like that's it's still an area out there of folks that like that, and I like that. So it would have to be an artist in that lane, but it's not that many.
Okay, you know? Okay, I appreciate that. Yeah, my fault.
I was gonna say I am kind of all over the place with music. I listen to everything, but as of lately, I have been heavy on the LA R&B type cats. Steve Lacy, The Internet, Sid, Sir. That the West Coast has been heavy in rotation on my playlist, and it's a nice mix of live and produced stuff.
Yeah,
or songs, particularly The Internet. They're like a band, so I like. I've been heavy on the LA R&B, and always and forever for real. Anything for real. I always have him somewhere in rotation. But normally with me, what I do is I'll play a song that I like, and then I just let the my iTunes just kind of take over from there.
Yeah,
And so that's how I get kind of hip to newer things like that.
that's
That's my way.
for
I
sure.
just let iTunes kind of guide me down that path. So that's how I find myself finding new new artists and new things to listen to.
For sure. Well, shit, man, I don't want to keep y'all for too long. But I do want to end it on this one question. And I brought it up the somebody rolled a weed. Specifically, I seen y'all did a rendition with Steven Jackson. Did y'all know he could sing? Because it sounded like he was kind of singing.
Nah, he wasn't singing.
Oh, he was. Oh man, I thought he was singing, man.
Nah, he wasn't singing. So I'm gonna tell you what actually is supposed to happen. We were that version when you see him moving his mouth, he was lip singing because that was supposed to be some role for a whole video we was putting together, but he didn't make the shoot that we did, so we had to put him, in the joint with us. So that was supposed to be for the overall thing. But shout outs to Stack 5, man. Hey man, that's a cool dude, bruh. That's a cool dude. Like, not even to get too far off subject, bro. Like, he's just cool. Like, to just be. I'm a huge NBA fan. I'm a boxing fan for sure, and I'm an NBA fan for sure. To be in that space with somebody who's done it, who's played side by side with some of the greatest, who's got a championship ring, who was a role player. Like, Steven Jackson has had his heyday in the NBA. So to hear, his stories, I always wanted to ask an NBA player, like, what was like the craziest play you ever seen being on the court? And he told me, and he showed it to me. So like, just that whole day, man, I felt like a kid, like meeting like somebody. He was like, it was, even though he has a great level of respect for all three of us as individuals, and then the three of us as a group. He's a fan. He's a supporter. So, man, for him to invite us into his space like that and to just give us that time, meant a lot to us, man. But yeah, man, Stack 5, bro, that's like one of his favorite joints. And he let Tui know that a lot. Like, this is my joint. So, yeah, man, we had fun. We had fun, man.
For sure, man. I'm glad y'all keeping that feeling alive, man. I'm still laughing on the inside because hey, Tony was like, man, I don't want no hip hop shit, man. I want some soul, man. Nigga said I want to hear that, man.
Yeah,
Like,
dog,
he's serious
got that
about that.
man.
We made a trip from New York, and I wouldn't have done it. But we were talking about a particular group. I'm not gonna talk about say who the group is. We were talking about a particular group. And he was like, what is it? Like, what is it about them? So this guy was so interested in seeing. Now, here's the thing. If he's interested, he's gonna do the research. So on our way from, I want to say it was New York, right, Lilo?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I'm with
This
you.
guy went and purchased, like, it's an album. You can go listen to an album on like YouTube, but you can purchase it, like rent it.
Yeah.
And he rented it to listen to it. And the whole time he's listening, he's like, and we're in there like, ooh, like he was like, what? So like, I really take him serious. Like, he ain't, he like what he like, and it ain't. You can sway him here. Like, I've been able to show him some things, and like, he's like, okay, I like that. You can, you can raise his eyebrow a little bit, but most cases, that boy just like what he like, and ain't too much you gonna say or do to really change it, man. And that, I think that's what kind of makes him who he is in this space for us. He like what he like. I like it all. Tui like it all. He's willing to like it all, but we make it all work to create one ball of something, and that ball of something is what we give y'all, and y'all just like it.
Absolutely.
Got you. Hey,
I
man.
appreciate you guys. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect, and I have my things that I got to work on and get better with. but they've been patient with me. You know what I'm saying? My attitude sometimes and my choices of things and how I approach things sometimes. So just to the guys, I appreciate them for allowing that space, because at any time they could have been like, yeah, we're about to get somebody else. You know what I'm saying? So to just still be around and stuff like that is always dope. But yeah, I definitely am. I'm alone out here, man. I be out here some things like. Yeah.
Hey, I feel you, man. But I think that goes back to y'all just sticking to y'all roots. And once again, I appreciate y'all. If I got any last words y'all want to say to the people, man, let it be known.
Seek ye first the kingdom of God and all his
Hey!
righteousness.
That's a fact. Yeah, and thank you for everything.
Yes.
Appreciate you, Tui. I know you got some things you want to say, brother.
Everybody, we have music available, iTunes, Google, Spotify, all them places that you get your music at. We
Yeah.
have music out there. We also have a Instagram, if you're not aware, at the Hamiltons NC for North Carolina.
Yeah.
We also have a Facebook, the Hamiltons NC as well. We also have a YouTube, the Hamiltons NC as well. All of these things are made available unto thee.
Yeah.
To
And I cut my own hair.
subscribe and all those things. And I cut my own hair. King.
Hey,
Yeah.
we're gonna be in New York Monday. Is that right?
Sure.
Yes. At the city winery.
Yes.
We're gonna City Winery Monday. I don't know when this is coming out, so if that's after that, disregard what I'm
Today.
All
It's
right.
coming out today. Coming out today.
We're gonna be at the City Winery Monday, and it's going down in the way that we do things. You see what I'm talking about? And to you, good brother, this is one of the best interviews that I've been a part of, that I feel like we've been a part of, because you asked some real questions. Definitely seems like you've done your research. So I just want to say, on behalf of me and my brothers, we appreciate you allowing us on your platform, you see, because you could have went and got anybody else, but you said, you know what, I'm gonna go and grab them Tones, formerly known as the Hamiltons, and have a little conversation with them. We don't take that for granted.
I appreciate that. I do want to add this real quick. Is like, so it is the Tones, not Hamiltons anymore, correct?
It's the Hamiltons. It's whatever y'all want to call us. Just book us and have our bread.
You know what I mean?
It's the Tones, though. It's the Tones.
It's the Tones, bro. It's real. Let's be real. Like, they still gonna say the Hamiltons. It is what
be real, and I'm gonna correct them every time.
Okay, so can I
you got that thing.
Why the change?
We gonna sing.
Why the change in the name?
We just wanted to have our
why the change? Because the Hamiltons, we were in a certain place in our lives, backing our good friend Mr. Anthony Hamilton as the Hamiltons, hence his name, which was given unto us by our dear friend Adrian Crutchfield.
Yes.
And just through time, it's like, hey, let's be us. Let's be our own. Let's walk into our own. You know what I'm saying? Like, normally when you're carrying the name of the person in the front, that's normally associated with a background position, hence the Marvettes or the Raylettes or the different people that were in the background. But we chose to take a step forward into the front ground. And just me personally, I felt that it was more fitting to walk into the front as our own, carrying our own name, the Tones. And once again, we're currently on the road with our brother, so it's all love. We all have an understanding, so it's nothing like that. But yeah, that's why we just felt it was more fitting for us in the position that we are choosing to walk in, to just be the Tones, and let the Hamiltons be what it once was. All respect and all of that to the come up and the
Praise to Allah.
There you go. Alhamdulillah.
yeah.
Yeah. So now, for real. So with the Tones, it is a slight curve. A lot of people still do make that association, but personally, I am gonna die converting everybody
absolutely
to the proper
absolutely
proper name, which is the Tones.
Praise to Allah.
There you
I
go.
would say again, check this out. Whether you call us the Tones, the Hamiltons, I have even heard the Ton3s.
Or the Ton3s.
I've heard the Ton3s. You know, as long as you know these three individuals is on the way, the deposit has been sent, and when we get there, we get the rest of that thing. We're gonna sing, but we are the Tones.
Hey man, and we're gonna leave it like that. For everybody watching, I appreciate y'all. Until next time, I say what I mean what I say. Haters gonna hate, players gonna play. Y'all holla at your boy. And that is it. Hey man, I appreciate